My name is Jessica, and these are the sewing tools you need to get started. So you just brought home a brand new sewing machine. You're excited to get it home, get it unboxed so you can finally start making your own clothes or quilts or whatever. So you go to the craft store and you're immediately overwhelmed. You notice there's a whole aisle of weird looking gadgets, confusing tools, and like 1,000 different types of thread. What do you actually need? And what is a complete and total waste of money for a beginner? So I've been sewing since I was 13 years old, and you don't need an entire aisle to get your project done. You just need a few key items that really help you out and keep the clutter at a minimum. Number one, cutting tools. That is the foundation for any project. All right, let's start with the most important part, cutting. Honestly, your project is only as good as your cut. And for that, you only really need two key things. First up, tool number one, dedicated fabric shears. And I cannot stress dedicated enough. These are not your kitchen scissors. These are not to be used to open Amazon boxes. These are sacred. Good fabric shears are engineered to give you a smooth, clean cut without frayed edges. When you're shopping, you want to look for a pair that has about an 8-inch blade and is angled so that way this part lays on the fabric and gives you a clean cut. Now, you don't have to break the bank on this, but spend anywhere from about $20 to $40 on a good pair of fabric shears. It will pay you back in pure sanity. It's also helpful to mark what shears are for fabric only. Put a little mark on it, tie a piece of fabric on it, buy them in a specific color. Whatever you have to do, mark those as fabric only. Tool number two, thread snips. These sharp little scissors you'll keep right next to you on your machine. While you could use your fabric shears to snip threads, they're kind of big and bulky, so it's just easier if you have these little scissors to get close to the fabric to snip the threads, and it makes it much more professional looking right from the beginning. Okay, tool number three. And I know a lot of beginners are actually kind of ashamed to have to get one of these, and that is a seam ripper. Now, since I've been doing this since I was 13, I've had to use a seam ripper a time or two. It's nothing to be ashamed of. We all make mistakes, but it really helps remove those stitches that you might have messed up. They're super cheap to pick up, so get a few. I always tend to lose mine. So they're definitely a necessity. So now we can cut our fabric and we can fix our mistakes. What do we need next? Well, now we have to hold everything together. And with that, you need pins or clips. I honestly recommend getting both because both will come in handy depending on the project that you're doing. But they're also very expensive. You can get them at Walmart, Amazon, wherever you want. Next up, you need to be able to measure and mark your fabric. There are the few things to measure: an acrylic ruler and a measuring tape. You actually need both. There are several different shapes and sizes of the acrylic rulers. You don't have to buy them all at once. I recommend buying them at a little bit at a time, but eventually you will probably use them all depending on what you plan on making. Next up, you need a way to mark your fabric. There are a few really good items to do that. They have Tailor's chalk, which I got this off Amazon, and they have all these colors for different colors of fabric. And you have a fabric pen, also come in different colors depending on your fabric. These are really great. They come off with washing or ironing. Just do me a favor, test those pins on a scrap piece of fabric to make sure it's going to come out, because some don't always come out. So test those pins. Now, with these first 6 tools, you're already in fantastic shape. Now, for those of you that have been sewing for a little bit, or maybe you inherited a sewing kit from your grandma or something like that, what is your go-to tool? What is your favorite tool that you absolutely cannot live without? Drop that in the comments down below and maybe help out a newbie. Okay, let's talk about things that work directly with your machine. These aren't optional, like your machine literally won't run without these. Number one, quality thread. Now, I know when I said like 1,000 different threads, it really doesn't matter the color or anything like that unless you want it to match your project, but you really just need an all-purpose polyester thread. that's going to be your best bet. You want to kind of pick something that's pretty good quality, because cheap thread, it's going to break, it's going to bind, and it's just going to create a whole lot of problems. White and black thread is going to be your staples in your thread, and they will work for almost every project. Next up, you're going to need machine needles. You need to look at your machine model, and they have good universal needles. Always keep a few extra on hand. Next up is a screwdriver. You're going to need a little screwdriver to open up different parts of the machine to either clean out fuzz, change needles, stuff like that. Follow your instructions on your machine to tell you how to do that. Next up is bobbins. It's always good to keep several bobbins ready to go. That way you can swap them out and not have to stop your project to refill your bobbin to continue on your project. Make sure you buy the right bobbins for your machine. Next up is an iron and ironing board. That is an absolute must. You need to iron your fabric before you sew it. Crinkled up fabric does not sew well, and it doesn't measure out properly. Okay, these next two items are optional but highly recommended. Number one is a rotary cutter. These tools are very handy. You slice right through, and they make cutting really quick. You need to get a hang of the scissors first before you start messing with the rotary cutter, but I actually love mine. And number two, a self-healing cutting mat. Now, if you're going to be using that rotary cutter, you need that mat. Otherwise, you're gouging up your counter or whatever you're cutting on underneath, and that's not good. And that's it. With this small little curated kit, you can make pretty much anything you want. Now you don't have to be intimidated by that giant wall of gadgets anymore. You can sit down and start your first little project or big project or whatever project you want. You have everything you need in this little kit. I hope you found this video helpful and you're ready for the next step. Please consider hitting that notification button and subscribing, and in the next video we will tackle the machine itself, how to thread a bobbin, how to thread the machine, and even making our first stitch. So have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining me, and go make something amazing.